Are you generating 15 to 20 deals a year organically just from your database? If you're not, there are some things that we can change with your real estate business to actually make that goal totally achievable. That's what we're going to cover today. So before we get too far, I want to distinguish between what the difference is for your database and your sphere of influence. Because in this industry, a lot of times I hear real estate agents use them interchangeably, but they're actually two distinct separate things. So if we look at it that way, your database really becomes your client base or your book of business, right? It's those relationships of people that we have determined through a series of nurturing actions that they are highly likely to refer us, work with us, and just generally support our business, even if from afar. Now, where does the 15 to 20 deals come into play here? Well, after working with hundreds of real estate agents in the industry through coaching in the Market Authority Academy and just in being in this space for a really long time, we've determined that a really good conversion rate for your database is 15 to 20%, meaning for every 100 people you have in your database, if you do it really well, you can expect to see up to 15 to 20 organic deals per year from that alone. This is true in my business where I've been able to implement these strategies for my real estate business and generate this amount of deals consistently over the last almost decade. And this is true when I've been able to help agents that I mentor in the Market Authority Academy implement this as well. So the question is, how are you going to do it? If you come at me with, well, Steph, I don't have a database, or Steph, I only have 30 people in my network, well, then you're going to grow one. like this is a really typical journey that a lot of real estate agents will go on. And by the way, when I started my real estate business, I didn't have a lot of connections. I knew maybe 30 to 40 people between my husband and I. And over time, we did a lot of networking. We did a lot of utilizing social media to expand our network. We did a lot of these things to help grow our database to the level that it's at today and continue nurturing those relationships to cultivate the book of business that we have now. So FYI, just to say, if you don't currently have 100 people or 300 people in your database, it's fine. We can work on that. Before I share a few tips on how to grow your database, I want to start by organizing the database that you do have. Now, whether you know 2 people or 200 people, you already have a database. It just might not be organized and compiled yet. And so while I have a proprietary process that I teach agents on how to compile and organize their database, there's really no one right or wrong way to do it as long as you are being intentional about it. But here's what I would do if I was starting from scratch. You can start by compiling a list of your contacts and relationships in either your CRM or a spreadsheet. Now, remember, just like your sphere of influence isn't totally equal to your database, your CRM is not a database. Your CRM is a tool to help you manage leads and a database. So 2 separate things there. But you don't necessarily need a CRM until you need one. So if you can't afford one, or if your brokerage doesn't offer one, don't worry about that right now. You're going to start with Google Sheets, like a spreadsheet, or Excel. What you want to do is just start, like I said, listing these contacts and gathering as much information for them as you can. So items of information that you might want are their contact information, phone number, email, that sort of thing, their home address or their mailing address, and then a little bit of detail in terms of like the source, how you met them, what type of relationship that is. Is it friend, family, past client, business relationship, that sort of thing. My tip for you is, as you are organizing this, when you're going through the list, do what we call in MAA the gut check. And the gut check is if you're putting somebody on the list and you go, ugh, I don't really even want to ever speak to this person, or man, even just the thought of reaching out to this person gives me the heebie-jeebies. They don't belong in your database. We're gonna kick that out. Now, again, you want as much information on these individuals as you can get. And if you don't have something like a current mailing address or an email address, ask them. Just say that you're updating your holiday card list and you realize that, hey, by the way, I'm missing a good email for you. What's your best email? It's not a big deal. Once you have your list, you can start to set goals on growing your database. So for example, like I said, with that conversion rate, 15 to 20% for every 100 people in your database If you're starting with 30 people in your database, in the next 6 months, your goal should be to meet 20 more people and get to 50, and then to 75, and then to 100. Right? If you're one of those agents who goes, but Steph, I know 3,000 people and they're all super special relationships. Awesome. I'm super happy for you and your popularity. But what you're going to do is really pare those down to the 300 direct people who have referred you in the last 3 years or have actually done business or tried to do business with you in the last 3 years. 300 max. That's where we're going to start. And by the way, if you are not generating at least 60 deals, 45 to 60 deals from those 300 people, you might have a lot of contacts in there that are not actually database contacts, so you might need to pare it down even further, or change up your strategy to market to them to get that conversion rate up to 45 to 60 deals a year. So that is going to be the first thing that we're always working on. We're always working, after we've organized our database, we're always working on growing it. So making sure to further nurture those relationships, increase our conversion year after year, and keep on growing it, right? So you're always setting your next growth goal for networking and growing your database. From there, how are we going to get referrals and repeat business and past clients? Well, what I love about database marketing is it gives you the opportunity to take one deal and turn it into 5. And that, to me, is the basis of the attraction-based business, right? Like, let's really make sure that we're making the most of every single opportunity instead of churning and burning through every lead, every client, and then never speaking to them again. Not only is that not, in my opinion, the proper way to behave in business, this is a people business, but it's a lot less profitable to do that too. So every time you add somebody into your database, maybe you make a new networking connection, you meet another professional, you meet another referral agent from another city, or you close a client and you're putting them as a past client in your database. I want you to be thinking about how can you take that one person and cultivate 5 deals from them within the next 2 years. This is going to be the goal of your referral strategy, your referral marketing strategy, I guess, for your database. This is going to look like a mix of social media marketing and direct marketing. And the reason we're going to do both here is when you are speaking directly to your database, that's really effective. That is nurturing that relationship one-on-one. But you can only do that so often without it feeling redundant or salesy spammy with most people in your database. It's just not appropriate to be calling them every single month. And by the way, call your database is not really coaching, okay? So if you're hearing a lot of that advice and you're like, why does this not make sense? It's because it does not make sense. And so direct marketing is one way, making those calls, getting those face-to-faces, having great client events, having homeowner consultations with those who currently own property, that sort of thing. But you're also going to be implementing social media marketing. So connecting with all of them on social media, engaging throughout the day like a normal human being. So for example, I am connected with just about every single person in my database on Instagram, at least as many people who have an Instagram and currently check in there. And what that allows me to do is it gives me the opportunity to stay top of mind with my people day to day without pestering them about real estate talk that isn't relevant to them. And so the way that I'm engaging with them is really just making a point to comment on their posts, interact with their stories, just kind of respond and engage with them like a human being on a social network. This is so important for top of mind brand awareness, because I want you to remember that when it comes to cultivating a really great database, it is not their job to remember what you do. It is your job to remind them. And social media is a really important aspect of being able to generate more referrals and repeat business from that group of people. Now, I can get into all kinds of different strategies in future videos. I could talk for hours about really cool ways to engage with your database, but I want to stop here because this is like right on the edge of information overload. How do you feel? Let's ask some check-in points. Do you currently have a database? Are you growing your database? And are you getting the number of referrals that you would like to see from your database? If yes, awesome. Let's shake it up. Let's keep doing what you're doing. Lean into what's working and do more of that. If you need a little bit of help here, you can always reach out for the Market Authority Academy, where we have a proprietary process that we take real estate agents through to help them grow and expand their brand and network on and off social media and their database. So if that's interesting to you, all the details are listed below in the show notes. I would love to learn more about your business and share how we can help. Thanks so much for tuning in. Till next time, keep on crushing it.